Well, we're actually streaming with the pause, so you get to look at our lovely faces for a little bit longer. How are these lanes going to go then? Because we chatted a little bit about mid. Mid's going to be pretty much, I imagine, the Void doing fine. I think he's got a good idea for this matchup. So what about the other lanes?
I'm a little bit interested in what they can do under offlane here for the side of Cactus. Like Underlord, Earth Spirit is a duo that probably won't stick around too long. I expect what happens here is really just Fish King. Secures level 2, starts to go into the teleporter, heads down bot, plays with the Ursa instead. Ursa and the Undying. Go for those kill opportunities, rotate to mid, look for the kill opportunities there as well, and just run around all over. That's the most aggressive I've ever seen anyone chat here. All caps wait for Sheep.
Yeah, he's not messing around. He's not messing around at all. And another disconnect. Seemed to have some issues. That's okay. I'm sure we'll get everybody back in nice and quickly. Yeah, I'm wondering how these team fights are going to look. Definitely looking a little bit stronger, I'd say, on the side of Supernova. Just because you've got this Sven, always a very, very strong hero. And it's just a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of stuff on the ground for the side of Supernova from this fight. So you've got the remnants from the Void Spirit. You've got the cooling from Huerta. And you've got shards coming down as well. It's going to be very, very hard for us to actually navigate these fights, I reckon. It's a tough game for him.
It's not going to be a straight cut for Summer. I'm keen to see how he tries to work around that. Maybe he just banks on the Earth Spirit going in first and trying to get the silence off for him to get that burst window before he's kited around. Could be the way it goes for Summer. Just banking more on Fish King. Fish King and Butterfly Effect to jump in and give him his opening with his own blink up.
Yeah, he needs some bodies with him.
Yeah, he's going to need some people up front first, for sure. For the side of Supernova, I think the one thing for their draft is, again, maybe a little bit more in the farm. Like, my issue with Void Spirits, not really his stats or anything like that. It's really his itemization that always felt a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if it shifts out now from the usual. Again, like, say, your typical Void Spirit would still go Witchblade Ults or just Ults sometimes, Phase Boot Ults. So I'm keen to see if that's still what you go for. Because it does make sense. You line up for your Spirit, you get yourself out of these risky spots when there are silences on the ground. So you bail out and just step out again.
Yep.
But sometimes it just feels, I don't know, it just feels weird in comparison to like Ember and Storm. Like Ember with Falcon Blade, Witchblade, Power Treads feels stronger in his jump in. Ember Spirit with his Phase Boots, Orb of Corrosion feels like he can poke way better than Void Spirit and has quite decent mobility as well and nuking damage. So Void Spirit's just weird.
It is a strange one, isn't it? Definitely here we don't see that much, and probably for good reason. But maybe this is the patch to bring him back. But I think we've talked this draft to death now, and maybe let's talk about you, John. I mean, I want to know where did your voice, your nickname come from, by the way? Is it just because your second name is Fernandez, right? So John Fernandez?
But yeah. No, it was kind of that at the same time, no, because I was like, so the story for my username was I was in my cousin's house in my dad's hometown. They had actual broadband internet back then. I only had dial-up, so I'd play online games there. Mm-hmm. I played a game called Panga. I used my usual login, but then my cousins got this installed copy of something called FlyFF. Fly Forever, I think was the name of the game. So I was setting up my account, my usual username, which was Ashrok. I chose my username there called Ashrok, A-S-H-R-O-K, because the login was a bunch of ashes and rocks. It's a volcano.
Okay.
But when I tried using that username elsewhere down the line, I think I was registering, I don't know where anymore. It must have been the actual program called Xfire, the old... it was Discord before Discord was around to track your game time. It was like a platform you could have an overlay to chat with friends while playing games. So my username was taken there, but I was like, all right, what can we use? John on Xfire, right? John Xfire. That's it. So technically, I just took the client, the app name the application's name and stuck my name to it.
Just shilling for an app that doesn't exist anymore.
It's dead. It's been dead for years. It's hilariously dead.
Interesting.
I don't think it was ever that popular anyway as well. Like that's the funny thing.
Was that your
probably
first
wasn't the
nickname,
most
John
popular
Xfire?
app.
Was that your first like gamer name?
My first one was my very first one was I think Mad Simster. It's pretty weird. Mad Simster 44.
Okay, all right.
That was from the Mad was from a Mad Cat from Mech Warrior. The Simster was because I really like just The Sims.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where the 44 came from.
All right, that was just a random number thrown on the end. This is a base Sims enjoyer. I respect it.
Yeah, it's a weird combination, Mech Warrior and The Sims, but they're fun games.
Yeah, not wrong. And it looks like
fun.
TTY might be dead here as the gang squad comes rolling on in, and Ham's going to make sure he secures the last hit even with the Resonance Pulse, so that's pretty big. It's going to be a first blood for the mid lane. That is not the hero you want that on if you are on the side of the Radiant. Bottle queued up and almost has enough money for it already. Huge amount of gold gain from that kill.
And just so important to find these early pickoffs, and a good read coming out there from our Muerta again, Chen, getting the dead shot right in the nick of time on the tree.
Why was there a curry there?
Scouting, maybe.
Scouting? Can it? I don't know. I can't figure that out. A little bit of fighting over by the rune. Here's a fun fact: the couriers can take the twin gate.
That is, do they automatically path to the gate when they're going across? No.
Nope, you have to do it manually.
Do that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So the only time that'll ever be useful is if your courier is coming to you and then you use the twin gate to get across the map and it's nearly reached you, then just send your courier through the twin gate rather than letting it auto path all the way across the map to you. Top tip.
Yeah.
That's Nomad's top tip of the day. You're welcome, everyone.
Yeah, that's a fun fact. It does make sense, but it's also like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, your couriers can take the trip along with you. Your nice little pets, your loyal companions will go into the gate across dimensions with you as well.
Yeah, your familiars. You know, one of the more stupid ideas I had for like a crazy, because I was trying to come up with like the most ridiculous ideas I could for patch changes, is that every hero in the game gets a familiar, and it's like the shard, you know, where you can choose to buy it. So everybody can choose to buy the familiar at some point. And every hero has like a different one with like 2 spells or something. Or in stats. That would be awesome. I'm just saying.
That would be awesome. Cool. That's a lot more micro. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I don't understand how to use this.
Yeah, gotta learn. I
can't press tab.
It's not that hard.
I can't press tab to cycle through my heroes.
2 heroes is fine. Honestly, I think every player in the game can micro 2 units. Maybe
I'd be surprised.
Maybe I'm overestimating, but I reckon they could.
Some people can't even micro their couriers, you know, and that's already a free one with the action buttons in the lower right. So, bit of a tough sell there, Nomad. I want to believe in the guard player base, but sometimes I'm let down.
Oh dear, that's a nice arrow landing onto the Earth Spirit here, but he has got the roll away to get himself to safety. Oh, Fish King, he's gonna survive. Keep those luscious leaps safe.
Yeah, cost him a fair bit of HP, down to just 1 tango. The top lane again. And the Underlord can maintain presence. He can burn through the Sven, but it does feel like you're not durable enough to feel comfy here.
Now TTY, he's going to be the next target. Yeah. Man, these two are just going to work. Stun plus arrow. A tale as old as time.
And I'm a bit curious what Cactus will want to do here, because you've got level 2 in Fish King. The better lane to work is down bot. You get a stun, you get the grab back. You can set up for the Ursa to find these kills. But the Muerta and the Tusk do have counterplay there. So they can make it a lot tougher for you to run and gun. And as long as he's camping top, I don't think this top lane works out too well for the side of Cactus. Again, your Underlord just really wants to be passive and farm. You can't do too much to punish the Sven. You can't really jump onto the Mirana.
Yeah.
So you're basically just giving Dong a very free lane and free kills if you hang around too long.
Yeah, pretty much. You got to accept the fact that you know, they've got a lot of kill threat onto you and play the lane accordingly. Want to see some creep dragon going on from the Earth Spirit here, maybe. So far, that's not really happening, but the lane's in a good place at the moment, so it's not too much of a worry.
in a decent enough spot. Still curious to see how the rest of her lanes are going. That bot lane we talked about here for Summer on the Ursa and Jiumi on that Undying. They are up against Chen on the off lane Muerta and Sheep on that Tusk. This one, it does feel steady enough for the Ursa. It's not like you're going to be shoved away. At the same time, you are having a little bit of a better time with Chen. He has range harassment. He can deadshot to annoy the Ursa a little bit more as well. So it's not as smooth as you'd want it to be for Summer. Like the Undying Ursa can do a lot, but again, there's just a lot of ways for you to break off these fights from Supernova that you're not really able to fully commit on the side of Cactus to find these kills.
Yeah, that's kind of a really big point as well, because, you know, the kills are just so important. We've talked about it a lot, and, you know, both of these teams have kind of the supporting duos which can make stuff happen, but not if you get beaten down the lanes. So you got to really make sure that you and that everybody's having a game. Meanwhile, at the mid lane, Han, he's still not doing great versus too much. He's got some ways. Oh no, another kill up in the top lane as they do bring down Mr. Fish King. But yeah, in the mid lane, it's yeah, he had the wave under the tower, but still a little bit behind Butterfly Effect when it just comes to straight up CS. And don't forget, this is the guy that managed to get first blood on this Void Spirit. So by all rights, he should be owning this lane, but Butterfly Effect just seems really, really confident as mid-doom, and now he picks up that Meteor Hammer as well, and suddenly everyone turns up to the mid lane. It's only 5 minutes, but they want to try and bring him down here. Arrow is completely off the mark. Everything. How much is it going to cost them? The answer seems to be a lot. They will finish the job, but they're going to lose at the very least the Tusk, looking like they might lose Chola as well. Chola with a leap away, but Jumi gets a kill. The zombies go to work. Han has been looking at here by the Earth Spirit and by the Undying. Han needs to get himself out. He doesn't have any mana left, though. He might just get killed off by these two. They've seen their opportunity, and they're going to take it. Han goes down. 3 kills in return for the Doom in the middle lane. I don't think that's worth it somehow.
No. Definitely not. Costs a little bit too much. You're giving the supports EXP, which again is something that supports don't find a lot of outside of kills now.
Armor down at bottom, in a lot of trouble here. He's going to use the Earthshock early to try and escape from the cooling, but look at these shots. They're so well placed. Deadshot to finish the job as well. And the Ursa will go down. That was beautifully played by the two of them.
They find a punishment while the supports head down mid. The big thing right now for the side of Cactus is with a Meteor Hammer timing, Butterfly Effect can pressure the mid tower and kind of make it awkward for anyone to camp mid and try to get EXP. So you are still denying a pretty good portion of the map where it does feel fairly secure. You're trying to get some of those support EXPs going, and he can just kind of farm up. Once he hits his 6 with Doom, that's when you want to see some activity coming out from him. You do have to prevent this bleed out from Summer, as he is suffering now on the Ursa. Solo, it's not an easy time for him.
Yeah, might be suffering more here as in comes the Void Spirits are looking for another kill onto the Ursa, and he's going to find it. There's no support coming in for him. There's no one TPing, there's no one gating across. It's just an Ursa lying dead in the bottom lane, and now the damage starts to come down to that tier 1 tower.
And he's not in a position to contest the farm game here as well. Like Dong, he is being shoved out top, but once he has a Mask of Madness with 3 points in the Greater Cleave, he is just going to outfarm Ursa. Like, he is just flat out clearing these camps, clearing these waves so much faster.
Jiumi jumping in here. They've actually just popped pretty much everything to try and bring him down. He's still going to be able to take down one hero with him, which is kind of surprising. They don't want to come forward and try and kill off this Tombstone with the Earth Spirit around, so they do have to end up showing a little bit of respect here from the side of Supernova.
It's decent punishment coming out from Cactus. That's pretty much 2 pure defense against 3. So you stall for more time on that objective. You are getting a lot of free space out for TZY to farm up on its Underlord, going for the ATOS. A little bit more hold, going to help massively, especially once he has that Pit of Malice up. So you have some decent timings on Cactus despite this lopsided start. It's a lot more back and forth, which is what we want to see from both sides. Again, early aggression just so important. Both sides are finding those openings, but it's Nova clumping up early, just dragging more heroes down bot here.
Yeah, they really are. They want to win the numbers game, and so far they've been pretty good on doing that. Now they turn their attention towards the Undying. Undying dies in a matter of seconds here. TZY turning up to this one, and with the gate, what the... That is questionable. They do get themselves a kill onto Sheep at the very least. Han, he's pretty low as well. Summer finds a clean up, but is he going to die for his efforts? Yes, he is. Look at the damage coming out from the Muerta. Pierce the veil, dead shot through as well. And that's going to be 2 kills going towards Chen in the end. So they tried to make a play. They tried to make it cute, but basically Supernova just end up dying. Sorry, killing.
They're... Yeah, they end up killing, and it's Cactus that ends up dying. It's really awkward for them to take these fights, as Butterfly Effect went really greedy with his build. 3-4, no points in Doom, just wants to farm, wants to use the Meteor Hammer. So you're basically playing a 4v5, and you're forced to drag your Ursa in for these engagements. Whereas for Supernova right now, you're free farming on Dong, just sitting in the jungle.
In the middle lane, getting rotated upon by Sheep, because they have the damage to bring him down. He's pretty damn tanky, but not tanky enough. Han and Sheep get the kill, and even Cholo coming in to help out with that one as well on the Morana. That's a big one. That's a really big one.
You're just playing so greedy right now, and Cactus just not going for any Doom points, not joining these fights.
Yep, trying to get the Midas. Everyone's just trying to kind of AFK their way through the game, and that's not going to happen. Supernova, they are punishing. It's nice to see as they continue their aggression here. Sheep might be dropping to the Magnetize. Is there enough damage out onto him? Yes, there is. So it's a trade. A Spirit for a Tusk. Can Supernova get this bottom tier 1 tower?
It's a bit hard to fully commit with the Underlord around. He can't clear out the waves steadily now with level 3 and Firestorm. He is tanky enough to cop some hits, and they'll keep that pressure going. For Cactus, the one thing you're getting is space for Summer. He is allowed to be up top. No one's being aggressive onto that Ursa. So you can kind of try to recover. He has a long way to go, though. Like, he's very far behind in terms of net worth. Nova's just going to keep pulling ahead with Dong, with full Mask of Madness up. And they're still not relenting on this pressure. Like, they're just constantly running bot. They know they've got to keep finding these kills, and chances are they will.
Yeah, big roll in from Fish King here. In fact, this one might cost him. He needs some help, and his teammates are not coming, so it's going to be another death on the side of Cactus. No one wants to be on this bottom lane anymore.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing for Cactus is that they found the mid. It's more off the back of Butterfly Effect. He's got his Midas. He still goes 4-4 in the skill build. Still no Doom up. Gets jumped with a smoke. Pretty crazy. Nova just cleans him up.
Yeah. Goodness me. I mean, they do have a map advantage on the side of Cactus, has to be said. They've taken the top tower, they've taken the mid tower. It's going to open up a bit more off this top area of the map to the side of Cactus. And that is what they need. They need map space. So, no, Supernova's forced to waste a lot of time on this tier 1 at bottom, which they didn't really want to do. Not finding the most high-value kills, but now they find the Doom, and this is the high-value kill. 2 steps to get over to him, but absolutely required, and even Jong's going to get involved in this one as well. Pop in the God Strength, pop in the Mask of Madness, and just chopping that Doom down.
And they've got themselves a firm lead now on the side of Nova. 2k up, 7-15. Their aggression is paying off. Quite the dividends for them. They have reached a point where Echo Saber is almost done here for Dong. You almost got the full Witchblade up for Han. His damage output's ridiculous with his new right clicks coming out here.
Absolutely. Fight over the rune here as Han tries to unleash a little bit onto the Undying. TY is going to come across as well, using that portal to join the engagement. Summer closing the gap now onto Han. Sheep's got to do something here, but what can he do? Well, a little snowball onto the creep, just trying to slow him down. Dead shot through as well. Han, can he actually survive through this one? The calling is there. Oh, he stops him with the rest of the pulse blink up to the high ground as well. And now he's got a regen rune. No way. Holy.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
Well,
that is just ridiculous.
The fight is nowhere near over. But it's also over because, yeah, they've left on the side of the Radiant, so easy times.
They need Butterfly Effect in these kinds of jumps. They need that Doom up. Like, you have one big primary Doom target on that Void Spirit. Like, he's just been farming. He does have the level in Doom. He can join in. He is going to have the travel up soon. So that's going to be his timing. Easier to run around, easier to just keep chasing with the Scorched Earth, and try to chase down these Doom targets. That's when we need to see Cactus dish it back.
Yeah.
Because they've been making way too many sacrifices. You're still bottom net worth in terms of cores here for Summer. And this Dong is just allowed to get too much on his Sven. He has his Echo Saber flying out now. And it just gets scary. Because we know what happens when you lose a grip in the early game. It becomes pretty hard to bounce back in.
Yeah, it definitely does. There needs to be some fresh ideas being shown from the rear, and this is one of them here as they make the engagement here onto the Tusk. Sheep is probably going to go down here. He's going to buy himself a little bit of time just to get up a few more rounds of spells. The dead shot through as well, and the punch, but he does still die. And this defends the 2-1 tower a little bit longer. Again,
it does.
It's not in total freefall for Cactus as now they're looking for a little bit of room. Wait, this is a Sven? What are you doing down here, Dong? That's not ideal.
Yeah, just trying to farm. Does get punished for being a little bit too far forward. A really good teleportation out from TZY with that Fiend's Gate up. So just running around the map. That's something I also wanted to kind of see. It sounds weird, but think of a weird smoke angle where you're smoking base, you teleport up to one teleporter, hunt that area. If no one's there, teleporter down. It's a very funky way of going all across the map, but I don't know if anyone's going to do that. There's so many weird things you can do with Fiend's Gate.
Yeah,
you never see it.
The twin gates are yet to be explored to their fullest potential, I'm pretty sure. But middle tower's being sieged now by the side of Supernova. Of course, Shen being the main sieger with 4 points in Gunslinger. Tusk gonna be on the front line. Wow, just doomed straight away onto the Tusk. That's kind of insane, but I guess they just want to take him down. Alrighty, tidy. Well, they are gonna tell you the price here is the Esper is the one who falls, and they'll move across to try and get the deny. Everybody turns around.
Oh, he missed.
I think it was a barrier on him.
Yeah, I think he had his... Did he have someone's
the Mirana pervased him and then realized that the Doom was piercing it. And then they couldn't deny him because the Mirana's pervased.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they tried to save him, but it ends up screwing him over a little bit instead.
Unlucky.
I mean, it's still fine. That's Doom committed on your Tusk. He respawns quick. You can try again.
Yeah, now roll forward here onto Muerta. Muerta, she's not the tankiest hero on the front lines here. I don't think she's going to get out of this one. So, well, actually pops the ultimate and looks for the turnaround. Kills off one. Just trying to get away, but does eventually fall to the Undying. Yumi on the front lines with TZY. These tanky boys will be able to stand their ground here and force back the Dire Heroes, thus keeping their tower alive a little bit longer. And this game used to be in complete freefall for the side of Cactus, but they have completely plateaued out the net worth advantage now, and are looking like they're the ones in control. Yumi, gotta be a little bit careful, but the Void Spirit's actually the one in danger, and that double route is just so hard for him to deal with. They'll try and use the Snowball to find the space he needs to get away, and it might just work. He's even thinking of turning around and throwing a few more spells into this fight. And talking about that fight, it is Shola who's coming around the backlines here, but maybe regretting that decision, trying to get away with the lead. But in comes the Sven. The big boy is here. Can he find the target to do the damage to? It doesn't look like it. That route is down, and he just doesn't feel comfortable getting inside of it. So now it's going to move around the other side, try and get on top of Butterfly Effect. The Butterfly Effect will eventually fall. Although the Spirit tries to jump in and finish off the Tusk, but he cannot quite do it. He's going to feed another kill away off Supernova, but they do get the Tusk in the end. Not really a worthwhile trade, and you got to feel good about your fight at that fight if you are Dong.
Yeah, Dong's more than happy. It comes at a huge cost. You're still fairly all right with that on Cactus as well, because you are starting to find some punishment onto Han and onto these supports, and even onto Chen for being a bit too far forward without any protective items up. So they've got the output to play with. They're buying space for Summer to play with his Battle Fury, starting to inch his way back. No longer bottom network core, that's now Han on that Void Spirit. So his aggression has kind of plateaued, his net worth gains now as well, as the mid-tier one still stands. Like, it's only a slip away from falling, but they've got the deny opportunity now, and they'll take it.
Yep, already had those wards down to prepare for the tower being taken as well, so... Oh, nice Meteor Hammer, gets absolutely nothing and might even get him killed. Arrow flying in from the sidelines as well. That is a long stun onto the Butterfly Effect. He's not surviving through this one. I don't think the Spirit is either, even though he got a really nice magnetize. Might be able to take down a couple with him here. And they actually don't have the... Oh, where did that dead shot come from? From downtown. Shen just coming into the sidelines of the fights now, popping the ultimate and forcing them back. TZY, though, he doesn't really care. He's got a pipe on him, so he's tanky enough to just be able to shrug off this Moeta for now. Moeta trying to fight up here. You got to be careful. Gong cannot fight into Summer just like that. You gotta wait, but they time it perfectly. The stun comes through, the damage is there, but don't might die regardless. TZY has so much damage right now because of all the units that have died in this fight. He's just an absolute beast, and talking about beasts, Undying takes an arrow to the face hole as Han just backs himself away, and that's gonna be the end of that one. But wow, these fights are so fun and scrappy.
They are. Both teams are just scrambling to find this early advantage, and it's leading to a bit of a dead draw. Cactus now equalizing the game quite well. Butterfly Effect, he's about to get a BKB. Once he's got that ready into Doom, that's when things can feel a bit rough in trying to stop him from just dooming up something big like, say, Han. Han is just so susceptible to that control. Not going for anything like a quick Lincolns, of course, just going for the Kai Sanj as you tend to. So you've always got this one consistent hero to keep jumping for Butterfly Effect. Probably going to need the blink up and running after this BKB. And once you have that, you're pretty safe. They can also start the Roshan, as they do have the Ursa on their side, and they do use the Fiend's Gate in there. So very clear walk up there. No vision out from Supernova as well.
And this Undying is giga strong as well, by the way. In case you're not keeping track, he's 9-2 on Undying. He's picking up so many of the kills in these fights, and that's led him to be able to get a Guardian's Greaves and going in for a Sanj now as well, probably turning it into a full halberd. Sven just comes running into this fight right now. He's looking for the pick up onto the Esper, but he's got to be careful because the Esper's straight upon him. They're going to have to pop the BKB on the Sven, and that's not with his God Strength. It's still on cooldown, so it's a very, very awkward engagement. Now the roll finds the right target. That is absolutely beautiful from the Esper, but he is going to pay with his life. No one else is able to follow up on this one, so it's actually just going to be Esper dying and getting nothing done, unfortunately. It looked like it could have been so good if there was follow-up for the Sven there, but there just was not. Everyone's been held back in the backlines by the Void Spirit, who's just been able to do so much work in these fights.
Yeah, and again, this is down to these fights breaking out without Butterfly Effect around. Just opting to farm. Has the BKB. If he's there with a Doom, it's a very different story how that fight breaks out. You Doom out the Void Spirit, you get the punishment off, you get to use your Aegis really aggressively here. They will get this opportunity to clear out the Tormentor. It is dropping them fairly low though, but they find it in the end. A little bit on the edge there for Summer. Yep. You've got the Undying Shard now as well. So now you've got the Ag's Labyrinth Undying Tombstone.
Get in, lads.
I am wondering, do you get healing inside like the Ag's Labyrinth? Or do you just have a place to stay?
No, I think you just have a place to stay.
That's fair, I guess. It's different.
It is. Down to the bottom lane. They're actually trying to make the play here onto the Tusk. Another Doom onto Tusk. Butterfly Effect doesn't really like this guy. I mean, he's 0-9, now 0-10. I'm not sure if that's really worthwhile, as TZY is going to fall as well. Yeah, this is Supernova just really just dealing the damage. They don't have a Doom to worry about anymore, so they can just happily stand their ground. That's so weird.
I'm surprised Butterfly Effect is playing the way he is. Like, just dooming out this Tusk instead of waiting for something like the Void Spirit. He didn't steal the Lotuses as well when he had a chance to. So they get to pick up quite a fair bit here on the side of Nova. And they get to, well, they eat it all. So no great Lotuses coming out, but hey, you don't mind that too much. Cactus, and they're still in the game. I mean, they still have this Aegis, but it just feels so awkward. Like, their playstyle is kind of weird, is I think putting it a bit lightly. It's a bit strange. I'd like to see Butterfly Effect get more impactful Dooms off. Maybe he's just waiting for that blink. Once you have the blink, surely that's when you join your team.
Surely.
Doom up the Void Spirit.
Yeah, you'd expect so. I mean, the Void Spirit's always going to be a tricky target, but yeah, not that tricky. As the team starting to get down and dirty with the Tormentor. Kind of close there on Chola, as Morana has to back away from that one, but the Aghanim Shard does go his way, so does have the extra charge now on Leap, as well as the Fart. We love the Fart, don't we, John?
The fort's pretty interesting. It's pretty... Weaponized forts are an interesting concept in Dota 2.
Oh, just look at Budge.
Very weaponized.
Oh, I was very worried by Chola's quick buy. It's kind of scary. So yeah, don't worry, Observer. Don't worry. Just make sure you buy these in the right order. Don't skip that Helm of Iron Will. could go wrong.
Yeah. Well, I just saw the Disperser. Now it's also with the Nullifier, which it can be useful in kind of pinning these heroes down. Maybe just pinning down the Ursa a little bit better. Could be big. Cactus now going for a smoke. Butterfly effect is ready to join. He's got that blink. This is what we've been waiting for.
I love the idea of this Disperser against the Sven, though. Oh, sorry, with the Sven on your team. You can blast them up if they find the right target. They find the Void Spirit with the Doom. This is key. There is a Snowball to try and buy him a little bit more time. And actually, the Snowball's onto the right target as well. But he's staying around to fight this one. I think he could have got away, but does end up going down on hand. Steps into the Firestorm, and that is just too much damage. Meanwhile, Chen will claim the free Tombstone. Very easy for him to kill off with the Gunslinger. But big news. The Void Spirit is dead. But... oh my god, they're just engaging now onto the Doom. They want to get a bit of revenge for their fallen comrade, and they're going to be able to do exactly that. Dong brings him down now, looking for more. Blink Dagger still on cooldown for a little bit longer. Does he care? Well, he cares about Summer. All right, nice Aegis, I guess. Just buying time for his team, and now comes the BKB. Now comes the Enrage as well. BKB and Enrage? That seems like overkill. When he comes out of this, he's going to be completely vulnerable. In fact, before that point, he might even be completely vulnerable anyway. Nice blink up to the high ground. Doesn't make a difference, so still going to get brought down. Did he just get killed by a fart? I think he might have. I thought the dead shot got him from Chen. Nope. I was looking to Marana for it. Got him. Death by fart. Leap. 276 magical damage. You love to see it as the fight continues in the middle lane here. They're looking for the Underlord as well. Supernova are feeling themselves and then some. Spirit jumping into the mix as well, just trying to get his teammate out of there, and does do so successfully.
That was really awkward for Cactus. Like, that's them revealing the blink, that's them using the Aegis, still losing out in the Ursa. A couple of things didn't line up in that last fight as well. Like, we saw the Pit of Malice and then the Snowball save, and then for some reason, Fish King rolls out of the pit. And that just kind of messed up the combination, took them a little bit longer to try to kill the Void Spirit, bought a little time for the side of Nova to clump up, get some damage onto them and to re-engage. Yeah. And the execution from Cactus has been off the mark this game. It just feels their early game could have been better. Their late game fights are going a little bit weird now. I say late game, we're 25 minutes in. But it does feel like the late game approaches this point so much earlier. Yeah. Just because of how fast like the early game runs. So you reach a point where you can say a late game like 25, 30 minutes in. It's pretty late, it feels.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest differences for me has been how the Ursa played versus how the Sven has played. The difference between Dong and Summer. I really feel like Summer struggled to find the initiation angles. I feel like, I mean, he doesn't have a blink dagger, which certainly doesn't help, but he just tends to get kited every fight. Meanwhile, Dong, when he enters the fight, you know he's there. He's chopping heroes. He's getting his damage off. So really looking forward to seeing this Ursa pick up a blink dagger. And honestly, like, kind of feel like he shouldn't have been fighting so much without the blink. Like, just take a minute to farm, get that blink online, and you can be just as good of a hero as this Sven is. But yeah,
it's been holding them back. They've waited out for this Doom blink. They need to wait for the Ursa blink, but you've got Earth Spirit who kind of wants to run around, you know, and he can't really connect with the Underlord. There's not enough burst damage there to really play with. So one of the cores has to kind of come with him. Just one of the pitfalls of this draft. You don't have big playmakers outside of your Earth Spirit right now.
Nope.
Whereas for Nova, it's just been consistent. Han's been running forward. No problems in the world on the Void Spirit. Chen's been showing up as well. Getting really good value out of the Muerta here. Already has a Mage Slayer along with a Crystallis, with a Maelstrom and Hurricane Pike.
Yeah.
So he dishes out a load of good damage in the middle of these engagements, and you just don't have that instant burst to reach into her as well. Like that combination you've been raving about with the shards and the calling has been huge. On top of everything else, like the control factors from Nova is just so much better in comparison to the control from Cactus. Like their best stun is probably just Pit of Malice for the AoE. Your roll forward from your Earth Spirit if you can follow through. but we haven't seen the best connections after those spells have been used here.
No, definitely not. And now, a 5-man smoke coming out from Supernova. They want to go make a play on this map right now. Who will they find, if anyone? It seems like this has been well read by the side of the Radiant. They might have even seen this smoke, actually. They do have some decent wards up, so... we'll be left empty-handed this time around as Supernova goes spilling across the map. Roshan not up just yet, so Tier 1 tower will be the first protocol and turn it into a little bit more.
Yeah, and just take the objective. Roche is going to be the big timing for both sides. Cactus still clears it out pretty fast. I mean, you always do when you have the Ursa. You do have the blink up on Summer, so you kind of want to see that Ursa come into play. Just jump forward, follow up from the Doom, clean up some targets fast, force a 4v5 afterwards, and it starts to feel comfier for the side of Cactus and maybe a little bit more awkward for Nova here, but I don't think Nova minds too much. Their farm distribution with Chen and Dong is pretty smooth. Both heroes kind of in the same area of net worth. So they can really dish the damage out for the team. BKB up and running now in Fish King though.
Yep.
So the Earth Spirit's a lot more safe in the jump in. They just need to find that target.
Yeah, the Spirit is going to be able to frontline much harder than before. And he was already frontlining pretty nicely, to be honest with you. They've got some big tanky boys on the side of Supernova. Honestly, when they get an AC up, they're going to be so tanky. But they found the answer in the backlines. He's dead. He's dead so fast. They then just rips through him. And this is a game of who catches who. And it's going to be a double kill now for Dong as he's looking in for more. TZY is going to be the next target. That big old sword just starts swinging around like nobody's business. Does get shot down by Muerta in the end due to the Heaven's Halberd. But a beautiful fight coming out there from the side of Supernova, especially Dong finding the initiation. And that is just going to be the story of this game. Whoever gets a jump on the other is going to win the fight.
Yeah, it's just tough for Cactus. Like, you'll lose your Ursa early on, just hanging a bit behind his team. The punishment's straightforward from the side of Nova. And once the Ursa's gone, your damage is really just gone. You don't have that same presence without that hero right now. Underlord can take prolonged fights pretty well if he spams out his Firestorm, but everyone melts a bit too fast for that to really give you the returns you want it to have. And you're going to have to deal with Dong having this full Silver Edge soon now as well. It's just going to have it. And more damage, more ways of sneaking across the map. Even harder times for Cactus to find an angle.
Yeah, definitely. The big, scary one. Honestly, like their map is getting pretty small at this point. They're just kind of holding on to this top side for as long as possible. But I have a feeling that pretty soon, Supernova are going to be thinking about Roshan. Do they wait for him to come to their side of the map? Do they go to him? Yeah, they're going to go and check him out. That said, Espero just jumps up onto the high ground straight away. I mean, that's the BKB used for absolutely nothing as he just gets gunned down. That was just unfortunate timing, to be quite frank. That's all there was to it. Yeah, they go back, they're checking for wards, they're like, right, how the hell did they see that coming? How did they see that happening? The answer is they really didn't. They really didn't. Meanwhile, oh yeah, they spotted that Roche is going to go over to the Radiant side, so they realized that it would be a bad idea to start attempting to take out Roshan whilst you're on the Dire side. Because he's about to go home. But look at this. They're waiting by the portal. Don't do it, Jumi.
Oh my god.
They found the Ursa again. He does manage to get off the Enrage off, and also the pipe coming out from the Underlord as well. He's going to survive this time around, or is he? I mean, they're still chasing on the Void Spirit. They're just hammering away at this poor old teddy bear. It's gets forced back to his fountain pretty much. Summer just unable to really get into these fights, and now kill off the Tombstone. Supernova look back towards that pit. They want to get in. They want to take Roshan, John.
Not going to take them too long to get that done. God's Turn is going to fade. So it's not going to be as quick as you'd want it to be. No, it's still quick. It still falls. Inside of Cactus, and they had the right idea, but again, the angles are always there from Nova. Their vision game has been pretty on point using these new cliffs as well. Just getting the angles in for the jump for Dong. And Sven just burst heroes down so fast. Like, with a crit on hand, it doesn't take too long to disarm stall, but everyone's there to follow up.
Yeah.
So now the side of Nova can just clear out tier 2s. They've got the secondary life on Chen of all people as well, but He has been a softer target, and that's been easier to clear out. So having the secondary life into Martha is going to feel pretty big. He has the full Daedalus up, so much output. For Cactus, like, I don't know where you go from here. It's just not lining up. Like, their positioning, the way they're using the map, the way they're taking these fights, it feels like a little too late.
I mean, the problem is he also just keeps getting jumped first, and when that happens, he has to pop both his in range and his BKB, and and then he can't fight. Like, you can't run back into the fight without those items, so without those cooldowns on. So it's really hard for someone to play this game. Basher now up, so hopefully he'll be the one finding the angle of engagement, but feels tricky, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not smooth going. It's, again, maybe off the back of Butterfly Effect not joining his team as often. Even till now, he's just kind of sitting back and farming.
Yeah.
He will get his shard sooner rather than later, so quite a fair bit more damage and control on the Infernal Blade. It's going to be nice to use, especially up against something like the Sven here. But they have to show us that this investment onto Butterfly Effect is worth all the sacrifices. It was a lot to ensure that this Doom is kind of farming like the main pause one.
Yeah.
And Summer's just taking a back seat because of this.
He really has. Yeah. And when's that payoff going to come? What's going to happen?
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Oh, here they go. They find the initiation angle. They're going to go onto the Sven here. They managed to get the Doom out before he gets off the God Strength, though. They are going to be able to kill him off. And that is a dead Sven. He is not the one with the Aegis. It is the Muerta. That is just straight up a kill. And they will get the +1 on Sheep as well. All right. Yeah, there you go, John. You asked for it. He delivered.
Yeah, that's what we needed to see. And just find these pickoffs. Keep this game your way. 7k lead's not the end of the world. It's definitely still playable here for Cactus, especially if they start to find these hills coming out. Now we need to see Butterfly Effect go for either a refresh or something like the Ags. If you can get either or, you feel pretty good taking these next few fights. Just have higher impact with the Doom. Get that control going. For Nova, I mean, you have to be a bit cautious. They did have the Lincolns up on Han, but he couldn't block out for the Sven in time, just a bit too far back. He also got the Lincolns on Chen as well. So they did have solutions, but again, just a bit far forward on Dong and doesn't really respect that counterplay from Cactus.
Oh, here we go. Disperser picked up from Chola. Trying to take down this Disperser. Got to be careful here, Chola. Got to be very careful, but does just about survive, and that'll be Tusk getting himself the shard. So the big long ice shard's coming out. You'll love to see it.
Yep, a little bit of slow, a little bit of damage coming out there as well. The next big timing here for Nova is probably just going to be Sheep's kick. Once he has that Ags up, you can simplify these fights on your end for Nova. Just go in, try to kick the Ursa around, kite him about. It's going to be his main issue in this game. He tried to moonlight, but can he catch anyone for real?
In they go, jumps in. BKB's quick, though, from the Undying, who has a BKB for some reason. We'll talk about that later, as he's just running into the front lines here with that ultimate, just looking like an absolute machine. Now, well, they got to back themselves out on Muerta. Muerta will do exactly that, so... Oh, in they go. They managed to find the Doom, actually. Doom does have a BKB himself, so he's going to use that as well. But the Sven is in. He's jumping in with the backlines here, trying to find the Ursa, but Ursa, he's ready this time. He pops his own BKB and pops his own Enrage. Both teams just not finding the angles onto each other, but it looks like finally someone has overextended. It will be the Earth Spirit. Now they can look towards TZY as well. Nice little fear out onto Summer, forcing him back. I mean, he can't help out the Underlord as he just gets gunned down as well. That's going to be 2 big kills for the side of Supernova. Can they find themselves a tower with it? What is the play? They're moving over towards the top side. No, they're not. They're staying towards mid.
They should be able to find it. Like, they can start to threaten high ground if they wanted to. Aegis doesn't have too much time, so it expires now. So not the safest play for the high ground, and they'll just play it patient. Go back to farming, get more items up. You have the fresh E-Blade on Han. More output on him to just insta-burst heroes down, and the full AC up and running on Dong. So much harder to physically burst down with the Ursa. with all of this EHP coming out from the side of Nova now. And for Cactus, it's still a matter of these jumps, right? It's still the story of the game. Can you get these good jumps in with Butterfly Effect? Can you find the Sven or the Void Spirit first? If you can, Cactus gets more room to farm and more time to stall out here.
Mm-hmm.
Dire are scanning.
Both teams kind of circling each other at the moment. But yeah, I feel like they're pretty scarred after the last high ground attempt, that's for sure. So won't be going for something quite that bold. And yeah, here's the smoke. Try and catch someone off guard or someone who comes out to ward, anything like that. That's what they want. Just an invitation up to their high ground is what they're searching for right now.
Yeah, smoke on smoke.
Invis from the Sven, trying to pop the smoke here, but doesn't want to get too close to it. Wouldn't be a good idea to trade your life to pop a smoke, that's for sure. That's up to reveal as the fight breaks out. They'll move immediately onto the Undying. If they can bring him down quickly enough, this could be big, but it doesn't seem like they have the damage done. Yasa comes up the front lines, kills off the Tusk, but now, can they find more? Oh, no, actually, the Sven has jumped into the back lines and has immediately gotten doomed, and I don't think there's going to be anyone here to save him. They'll try their best, there's nothing to be done. The Sven goes down, but Werther from the high ground still just doing absolute buckets of work.
Oh,
Cute
my
little
God.
dead shot just to get that kill as well. There is another carry in this game, and her name is Jen.
Yeah. Chen's just been a beast in this Morita the entire time. Unfortunate that they can't reach the high ground with these kills. Buybacks are still ready in Cactus. Respawn and Resven's a bit too long. You just get to go back a little bit, wait it out. A little bit of a split push coming out here from TZY with a teleport. Just using his spell, going back home. Clearing out waves, just getting some pressure on.
Yeah, I mean, it's already forced the boil. The Void Spirit actually comes back in using his portal and now immediately uses it to jump onto the Undying. What a cheeky little play from Han.
God. All right.
Han's a bit of a gamer,
I didn't
isn't he?
expect that. He is. He's certainly gaming very hard right now and still going to the high ground. And you have to be careful about these pickoffs.
You sure do. There's another jump in, another punch, and there's going to, of course, two buybacks. One on the Undying and one on the Doom as they look over towards the Tusk, and they will take him down. Sheep's going to take a sleep as the other two, both are simultaneously getting caught inside the Remnants. That was kind of cute, actually. And they're just happy to hold this high ground area as well. They really don't want to give up more of the map than they have to.
So the stall game kicks in. Sven will be up and running in a few seconds. Should be able to try to keep that farm game up. Maybe consider next Roche, a minute 40 away. Although,
another jump, man. The fight for these wards has just been absolutely relentless. Jimmy constantly coming in and trying to just claim this hill for themselves, but they can't stick around to defend it. That's a problem.
yeah, they just can't. And you're happy with not really losing too much there. I mean, you forced the BKBs out once more in Cactus, but this is like your support Undying BKB, which isn't a big deal, isn't as big of a deal to lose out on.
Yeah.
Side of Nova, I mean, this has been a really even game. You know, you're finding openings on both sides. You still have this insane lead out from Nova, but it doesn't feel like it's enough to secure them the game just yet. And you're hitting these big strides now on Butterfly Effect. He is working for that Ags.
Yeah,
AoE Doom, that's going to make all the difference in the world here.
When you have the Shivas, like it's just so effective. Ooh, that was close. The lightning bolt, just catching a glimpse of him, but the reactions weren't quite there.
Yeah. Might have had enough time to actually just get the Remnant, find that kill on the Doom. Doesn't quite. The Ags or Butterfly Effect now just being bought out. So the AoE Doom, it's going to be a bit scary fighting into that. You have to really be disciplined with your positioning now on Nova.
Yep.
As that AoE Doom will literally eat all of you up. And it'll cause some issues. Han is not going to enjoy that. We've already seen issues here for Dong when he is held by that Doom alone.
Yep.
It's not a smooth ride for him.
No, but there is the possibility of this game of them actually blowing him up before he gets off the Doom. You know, they have that burst available in the Sven and the Muerta, so you got to be quick with your engagements pretty much on the entirety of the side of Cactus. If you're not fast, you're not getting anything. That needs to be what they keep in mind. But they will get something on the side of the Dire, and it is Roshan. It is daytime, so Roche is chilling in his pit at the moment. They want to just double check that there's not going to be any interior designers coming through. And in comes that arrow. Stun into Roche. Bringing him down. Easy peasy. No one coming to check in on the pit. No one checking the decor.
Yep. They get the Ags blessing now as well with it being down south. So free Ags out for Han. Big spike for the Void Spirit to get these jumps in.
Got it.
And for Cactus, I mean, this game just gets tougher and tougher. Like the high ground hold is still there, but they're not really able to sneak out past their base anymore. So Nova just need to play a smart game onto the high ground.
Yep.
They've got the tools to kind of get this done. Maybe just waiting for Dong to finish up the full Swift Blink at this point.
God, this Mirana's chunky. I don't fat shame, but this Mirana, Sagan is struggling.
Yeah, she's got a lot. More farm than the Underlord at this point. It's a pretty hard game for TZY.
Yeah, but yeah. And Underlord's a big dude, but yeah, Mirana's she large and in charge, looking towards this nullifier, and honestly is not far away from it. I know where she's picked all. I mean, is this just from kills?
Yeah, with some kills, quite a fair bit of farm. Jungle creeps do give some good gold, so she's been allowed to kind of clear out with the Store Storm and the jump, and can add up.
Yeah, I guess the arrows onto the big creeps as well, always taking those valuable ones, definitely makes a big difference. She takes the Sven's farm and then gives him a disperser, just to say, hey, sorry buddy, there you go.
Yeah, make up for it a little bit.
Yeah.
He's apologetic. Smoke out here.
Yeah, let's see what they can do. Jump in, and it's just a soft initiation here, not the real deal, but I mean, the Muerta is the real deal, going for the barracks, but now in comes the Doom. The big boy has turned up to this fight, but they are just controlling him up. They're actually just forcing him back. The Doom is basically entirely wasted. The team can't really commit to this one. Wait, who's the Tombstone? Oh, the Undying was just chilling on Tombstone for that. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's... Well, that's your main teamfight control gone.
Yeah, to no avail at all. And, well, this is looking like an underlook getting punched up pretty hard. Thought he could jump inside that tombstone if he got into a pinch, but unfortunately it just gets shot down, and now he's dead. And look at Jen, just an absolute beast right now. What do you do against this? The answer seems to be not a whole lot. Han and the Ursa trading hits right now. BKB comes out, punch up as well onto that Ursa. Summer being controlled. He could be in some real trouble here, and he is going to end up going down in range. BKB, it doesn't matter. There is a buyback from the Underlord, but there is none available on the Ursa. This might be the end now for the side of Cactus. Supernova may have just done it, secured a vital win, and actually given themselves a chance to get into Division 1. They jump in with the punch into TZY. They'll force off out the Muerta. She has that Aegis still 2 minutes left on her, so she's not worried, and they're going to kill off the Earth Spirit as well. The dieback on the Earth Spirit, the barracks still full. They'll move down to the bottom lane. They can smell blood in the water. Han just jumping in again and again, just constantly threatening onto the side of the Radiant.
There's no punish. Not unless that Doom's back up, but still a ways off.
Yeah, it's just off cooldown now. They can choose to try and go in again, but of course that age is still in the Muerta. Makes it very, very difficult to overcommit to this fight, as they're just doing so much damage. Yeah, just murdering everybody right now on this Muerta. And there it is. The GG comes out. The Doom never comes in. And that is going to be the series going towards Supernova, John.
Yeah, it's a big win coming out for Supernova. They get to maintain their hopes for a Div.